So today I thought I would talk to you about the next step in tatting. The first step is making the simple ring. And the next step after rings is making picots to connect. And we made the simple flower. But going back to the simple joined rings, if you make rings only, making them the same size, using thread only, rings only, and join them, you can make a straight edging. The next step after rings only is adding chains. This is an example of a rings and chains pattern. And this is done as a straight pattern. And actually the rings are not joined to each other, they are only joined to the fabric. But you are creating a chain in between the rings. And if you join the rings together and make the chains longer in a different pattern, different stitch counts, you will get circular doilies. The patterns are endless. But I thought I would show you today how to add the chains to the rings. Okay, the first thing you have to do, when we made just the rings, we had just the thread wound on the shuttle. If you are adding chains, you have to have a ball thread also attached to your shuttle. The easiest way to do that is after you are finished winding your shuttle, you do not cut the thread off the ball. You just leave the ball attached. And when you start your first ring, you just start it anywhere along and make it the same as you did for the rings only. And this pattern that I'm going to do is just a simple 4 stitches, 3, 4, picot, 2, 3, 4, and if you see me stop periodically and look at my work, it is because I am always counting the number of stitches in my ring, just to make sure I have enough or not too many. Okay, that is our first ring. 4 picot, 4 picot, 4 picot, 4. I'm going to close the ring. Here's the wonderful part. All you have to do, turn your ring over, wind your shuttle back because you don't need as much. And you're going to take the ball thread, pinch your ring, take the ball thread, wind that around your pinky. So you are creating tension on this thread here. This is how you created it. You flip it over, created your tension here. You're now going to be forming your knots on this thread, but you still have to flip them. Pull that up as tight as you can to the base of the ring. Make the second half. Pull that up. And the pattern for this chain is going to be 4 double stitches. Pulling the stitches as close as possible tightly against each other, make 4. And as you can see, this is not a ring around your hand. This is only a straight line, basically. It's just a chain, but you are making the same type of knot. As you can see, pulled directly to the base of that ring, you eventually are going to get that length of chain. So the next part of that chain is a picot. You do 4 more stitches, 2, 3, 4, and there's your chain. So your original ring, 4, 4, 4, 4, chain, 4, 4. Now your next ring, you need to reverse your work back because you're going to make your ring this way and attach here. Pull your thread out. Because you're making a ring, you're going to make sure it's around your hand. Put the 2 ends together and your pinch here. Make your first knot as close as possible to the end of that chain. Pull it up. 2, 3, 4. Connect your picots. And you do not need to twist this. So you're going from front to back. Pull your thread up. Put your shuttle through. Pull. Hold. Finish your ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold a space for your picot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another picot. And as you're making these picots, you can be using a gauge to make sure they're all the same size. As you can see, I'm not using a gauge. I'm just making them an approximate size. There's your second ring. Close that. And there's your rings and chains. Rings and chains are all that every tatting pattern is based on, just in different configurations with different stitch counts. That's it. If you can master the rings and the chains and the direction they're supposed to be going, you will be able to do any tatting pattern you want. Some examples. This is a floral edging pattern that I put onto a spool that I put my crochet hooks in. This is a circular little motif, and again, it's just rings and chains, but they're connected together in a circular pattern. And then if you add an edging on the end of that, you can create a cup, and then you can put that on the spool. This is another example. Now it looks like a square, but if you can see, it's actually just a circle. And on 4 of the chains, you're adding what's called a throne ring. I'll show you that in another video. That's an advanced technique. But as you can see, you can come up with a square shape with another circular motif on the bottom. on the top. And the last example is a rings and chains only pattern that you can create into a bracelet. And I added a 3-dimensional tatted rose on there. And the rings and chains do not have picos on them, so it's a very plain pattern. And I just added a finding as I tatted it. And I made a smaller version for a little ring. And some matching earrings. Now the earrings they have the rings only 3-dimensional rose on it, but it's actually a metal finding, a metal component that I just added chains only around the outside. As you can see, rings and chains together can create endless projects for you. I hope this has been inspirational and helpful. Thank you for watching.